Right, we are back. We're going to be trying to do cherry blossom today. I'm going to try a few different ways, but I really want to get that kind of center natural look. So for one of them, I've gone through my dried flowers and I'm going to try and dye that with the peach red, and then obviously do the petal work. That will be in the center facing downwards, and then kind of do the petal work around it. But I'm also going to try and do it with the white sinker as well. So I think on one of them I'm going to play around with the sea deeper from Resin, and I might go in with a pinata just to see if I get any deeper spores. But I am also working on a video on how to get deeper spores with your sea deeper as well. So we're going to be using, of course, the collaboration resin. Thank you to those that have gone out and bought this already on Amazon. We're still awaiting the UK. The video the stock might arrive before I post this. If it does in the UK, I'll post the link in the description box below with the other links for everyone else. If you can also leave a review on Amazon, that would be really, really helpful. And we're going to be using peach red from the 26 ink set. And I'm also possibly going to be playing around with the Armour Art pink pigment paste and the white as well. I haven't decided yet, so I'm gonna kind of go with the flow. Massive shout out to all my subs, to all my members. If you haven't hit that sub button, hit that for me. Right, let's get mixing. Right, so first of all we need to dye our little flower. This come in one of the multi-packs you can get on Amazon. I'll pop the link in the description if you wanted to buy them, but I'm just going to be using the one anyway, and like I said, we're just going to colour that with the peach red. It may not work, but we're going to give it a try. I'm half expecting it to kind of bleed, but I'm going to just drop my peach red onto it directly. Kind of wasting a bit here. Maybe I should have put it into a pot and then dropped the plant in to soak it up. Let's try that. Let's get a little pot. Maybe I can kind of just get some tweezers maybe, and hopefully we can cover this. So there's no kind of patches. Now the natural look of the centre of a cherry blossom has some kind of yellow in it, but I'm not going to be able to get that. I don't think. It's going to be really hard to get that natural yellow. So we're just going to go with the pink, and then just to prevent it from bleeding too much, just kind of dab off any excess. Again, I'm making this up as I go along. I haven't trialed this. I don't know whether it's going to work or not. But obviously with flowers they float, so we're going to have to do this in a thin layer. You can get a bloom in a really thin amount of resin. It's not a problem. Just be careful with your white pigment paste, because it can blob. So some of it's falling off, but I'm happy with that. I'm going to now mix my resin. Right, so my resin is mixed. We're going to play around with timings as well. Just give these a quick spray. These moulds are the Resin moulds, the coaster moulds that come with the stand, but we're not going to be using the stand today. I've got quite a few bubbles in my resin where I've kind of mixed it too quickly, so just take your time when you mix yours. But with these two left ones, we're going to pour straight away, which is I've just mixed and we're pouring straight away. And for the other two, we're going to let our resin sit for a little while, because I want to try the Petrie as a centre with normal time, because that's when we normally do our Petrie. Now, You probably remember a couple of months ago a collaboration that myself and Petra did with Sandra Retic. She's done it basically. She's got the natural effect, and she added her ink straight away. Now we were waiting when we made the collab, the 20 or 30 minute wait time for the resin to warm up. So we're not going to do that today. We're going to do these two straight away and just see what I get. I'm just hoping the timings work. So on the top one, we're going to do the Let's Resin See Deeper, and on the bottom one we're going to use Pinata. So this is our See Deeper, and hopefully this will pull inwards over time. I've dropped quite a bit in there, so hopefully we'll get some sporing. I'm not sure with the Pinata whether it's going to blob. It's normally quite heavy for what I use, but you just never know, because this surface area, it's going to spread quite a bit. So I'm inclined to just maybe add 3 drops into the middle and then leave that and see what happens. So those are our 2 Petri tests, and we will come in and do our piping once we pour the other 2 out. We might as well pop our flour in now anyway, just to get it centered. We'll do that on the top one. Like I said, it's going to float, but we'll do a thin bloom and then maybe just fill it up afterwards. But just make sure you kind of get it to where we want it. Probably going to get some bubbles as well around that. So I'm going to let our resin now sit for about 20 minutes. I'm going to get my piping bags and stuff ready. See you in a bit. Right, so it's been about 15-20 minutes. So the white has kind of pulled in on this one, but the See Deeper hasn't. So we're just going to get mixing up for our piping bag now. The resin, it's like I don't know, it's like a coffee you made an hour or so ago that's gone lukewarm. It's the only way to describe it. So we're just going to pour enough for our pigments. And we'll start off with our white. I won't show the whole process. Most of you have already seen how I do this. You don't need much. You don't want it to blob. And you want to make sure it's thoroughly mixed, just to reduce any kind of small spores blobbing, which could actually be helpful for the center, I suppose, but we're working on the petals. Now cherry blossoms naturally have 5 petals, so I might try a couple of different ways to get those 5 petals. I might kind of pipe in 5 and then go in a spiral and come back shortly and kind of draw those in. I'm not going to draw them in straight away though. So we want like a milky, opaque, white. I'm going to skip the rest. So there it is, thoroughly mixed in. I'm just going to let that sit and now mix up our pink. And again, we don't need much of this. I'm just going to put a dab on my stick. This is already opaque, so we don't need to add any white to this. We kind of just want a blush pink, because we'll also be mixing it with a white as well. And I'll skip the part where I put it in my piping bag. Thanks to those who have sent super thanks as well. the new feature from YouTube, which is in the bar below. It's much appreciated. And the coffees, thank you very much. Right, I'm going to skip the part where I put it in the bags just to save on time. Right, so those are good to go. Just pop them aside. Let's put my lids back on. I have a concern with the left two, is that because this has been sitting in the cup and it's deeper, it's warmed quicker. And these two here, I don't think are going to be at the right temperature. So this could go wrong. I'm just going to pour our resin over that flour. Hopefully it won't float too much or at all. Sorry, move my camera. Right, I'm going to pause it and just wait and see what happens with this, because if it floats, then I'll keep it as a thin piece. But if it doesn't, I'm going to go in with some more resin. So I'm just kind of just prodding it to just get any bubbles that could be trapped underneath to rise up. There's a couple of big ones before I press the record button which come up. I'm hoping that will just stay down. Might have to come back. I mean, what I could have done is done an initial first layer just to glue that down, but I didn't think that far ahead. But yeah, you could do a very thin layer, add the flour, wait for it to cure, and then go in. I'm just going to add some more. If it floats, it floats. Right, so on this one below it's going to look a bit bare, so I'm going to use some of the peach red just for the middle. And then we'll make it opaque just by adding some of the sea deeper. You never know, it might give us that centre as well. It's all fun and experiments. I can see a bubble. I see you. Just go around the edges. I should have gone around the edges before I added the ink. Right, let's get our bags ready. Right, so I want just a thin amount coming out really. Really worried about the temperatures on these. I'm not sure if it's going to bloom. So we're just going to kind of go, let's lock my focus. I'm going to kind of go all over the place. Where should we start? Start on the outside. Just really hoping that it kind of pulls inwards, pulls that ink inwards as well. And now we can go over this with our pink. Which will kind of give it a blush tone. This is normally the centre of the cherry blossom that's the most vibrant. This will kind of give us a nice blush pink by mixing the pink with the white. just really need that now to kind of just start drawing inwards. But there's that risk of that resin not being the correct temp. Kind of go over the pink this time. Just see what we get. Noisy birds. But I'm not going to go over that white middle because I'm hoping that's kind of spored. Now with our pink. Maybe I could have added a bit more of the pigment, the pink pigment to this. It's not very bright. Just kind of cover all of the gaps. Just really hope that the temperature of the piping bag is what's going to give us our bloom. Right, so let's go in all pink on this one. I think maybe a little bit of the white. It's maybe not as dark as I'd hoped, this pink. I should have done this shallow because that's going to kind of, that flower, unless it floats up, it's going to look a bit detached from the rest of the petals, but we'll see. I'm going to go in with some white as well, just to break it up a little bit. Hopefully we'll get a bloom. Yeah, it's going to look very detached. I always like to go with the thin streak rather than the wider streak, so it gives more of a kind of subtle petal, I've found anyway. Right, this hasn't pulled in at all. We'll start with our pink. Really wanted that to kind of draw into the middle, but it hasn't. Maybe it will, still time. Try and get out as much as I can. And like I said, we're going to come back shortly to do the drawing of the petals, because I don't want them to close up again. I'm half tempted to add another drop of the peach red into the middle as well. Should I do that now? Let's do it. Just one little drop. Right, we're going to leave that sit. The others are kind of fanning out a little bit, but time will tell. See you in a bit. I'm going to have to, I think, because that looks a little bit silly. Just going to go in with a bit of the peach red just in the middle of that one, just to try and close those little gaps. Right, we'll come back for the drawing of the petals in a mo. Right, so because that one looks so detached, I'm just going to go round the middle, and hopefully some of this will sink and kind of give it a more 3D effect, some more depth maybe. I'm not sure, I'm winging it, but I'm just going to kind of pile it in, because it will, most of it will be hidden by that flower anyway. We can only hope, can't we? Right, see you in a mo. Right, it's been about 10-15 minutes. This one, the pinata, I can already see through, and it has touched the mould. But you never know, hopefully it's kind of pushed some of that colour down as well with it. But we're just gonna carry on. So we need our 5 leaves, or 5 petals shall I say. Let me lock my focus. So we're gonna try and get that in now. See, I'm used to working with symmetry, kind of going in, but then that's not 5, so we'll start, where should we start? Here. They might look a bit odd. See, I can already see symmetry in place at the moment where it's not going to work out. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a bit wide, I think. 2. 3. 1, 2, 3. So I need to split this one into 5. And then they have the point. Let's try and draw some of that middle pink through. It's not the shape that I wanted, but it will do. Yeah, the shape of the leaf is a little bit wrong. Right, on this one, I'm going to try and use a wider stick. No, I don't think that's going to work. We'll go back. It's pulling too much. I can kind of use the one above it now to work out where I need to go. Yeah, it's not really the shape that I wanted. I forgot, because I said I was going to kind of draw in the petals. So what I was going to do is 5 circular piping bags, which would have worked. I would have got the shape that I wanted in my head. So what I might do is just mix up some more after stirring these and just give that a try. I won't go through the whole lot again, but I'll kind of show the piping behind it. I kind of just went with the flow and forgot what I was doing. It always helps to make notes and kind of get your tutorials right from the word go, really, doesn't it? We're only human. It's not really pulling that clear resin through on this one. Well, hopefully we'll get some good results anyway. Should I swirl the middle? Might as well. And this one I can see, you can see it's blobbed, which is a shame. It's blobbed in quite a few areas now, I can see. But we might as well. No, we can't swirl it. It's pinata, isn't it? Pinata goes a bit tacky on the back. So what I'll do is mix up some more quickly, wait for it to get to temperature. We'll do the same thing with the flour, but we're going to do it on a shallower piece. See you in a bit. Right, so this one is really shallow, and we've got another two. I mixed up a lot. So with this one, we'll just go in with the piping bags, and again with these ones, I'm just going to go in with the peach red. Just one drop in the middle. And I'm going to try again with the alcohol ink, because I know the pinata sank with, I think we added 3 drops, didn't we? So I'm just going to go with a 1 on that one. And then the sea deeper on this one. Whoops, it's spraying everywhere. Right, my bags are all ready. Now, I must remember 5 individual petals. I think we'll start off with our white. Just snip the end off. Lock my focus. Is that in the middle? I feel I need to move it over to the right. Please don't break. That'll do. Right, 5. So I think because this is going to draw inwards, I think I need to go round. Now these moulds are slightly bigger. They're from a different company. Any blobbing that you get like this, you can kind of just draw that through. So you've got less risk of it sinking down. Need to fit another 2 in. Doesn't matter if they touch. And then quickly with our pink. Just go over the top. Just hope that pink shows through now. It's turning into another one of those big experiments. I kind of change, but then I should have done this from the beginning, like I said. I completely lost track of what I was doing, and it happens. Just try and cover any of those gaps. And then we'll draw in the rest shortly. Right, let's do the same on these. I'm sorry if this is taking a while. Start with the pink this time. Three. 4. And then we're going with our white. If not one of these turn out okay, I'm going to be really unimpressed. Probably going to get some blobbing on this one because it's coming out a bit wild. And then I think again I'm going to go in with another peach red in the middle, just to brighten that centre up. Just the one drop. And I think we're going with the white first this time. I haven't got much left now. Five. Sorry, I know my hand's getting in the way. Can't really avoid that. Just hope these spread out and bloom. I think I need to go in with a peach red in the middle of this one as well. I'm not holding my hopes up. I'll do the same on this. Right, I'm going to give it about 10 minutes and then come back and do the designs. Well, you probably noticed this looks a little bit different, so I went in with another sea deeper on top of the peach red, then another sea deeper, another peach red, then another sea deeper, just to make it a bit more opaque. And on this one I added another peach red, then a pinata. So this one down here hasn't really bloomed, but I'm quite happy, especially this one. The leaves are really defined. So we're now just going to draw in, try and get some definition in the leaves. Petals, I mean, not leaves. Then we're just going to come out. I'm not going to draw the peach red up. I'm just going to draw the tips in. And hopefully that white and the pink will kind of merge over time. And it'll be less gappy. Not so sure on these ones. I think we're going to have to pull up through. Actually, let's draw through first. And just give that a bit more definition. And then we can kind of come up. And hopefully those gaps will close. I'm tempted to swirl the middle of this one. I really like the petals on this one. We're just going to draw down and give a bit of definition. I think we're going to get blobbing on this though. And it might shrink down even more, kind of pull inwards even more. So I might have to come back and just add some more tips to the petals in a little while, depending on what happens with the resin. And we're just going to give this one a little bit of a swirl as well. Right, hopefully we've got some okay pieces. I'll see you for the next part. Right, let's see what we've got. We'll start with the pinata one. I know it's blobbed. The white has actually blobbed as well, which is a shame. Still cool. This was the one with the flower. We'll do that one. Obviously we've got the other three as well. This one is fanned out. I think some of these are just too pink as well. This is the kind of colour that I wanted. You can just see the flower. I think the pink that I added maybe overpowered it a little bit. But it would be interesting to see how these have come out. This one is the Sea Deeper, the Let's Resin White. Hasn't really fanned out how I wanted, but you can see that texture. But like I said, I kind of wanted that to push inwards, but it hasn't. I think this one, I think we added, I can't remember now. It's really pretty though. Right, let's see the three that we did the retest on. Which is the one with the, this was the shallow one with the flower in the center. Much better. And it's given that kind of, obviously because it's a natural flower in the middle, it's given that kind of a more natural look, similar to the center of a cherry blossom. What was this one? Obviously, you know, these were shallow, so you could go in again with a, you can see just how shallow. that is. You could go in with another coat. I was just impatient. Oh, it's different. We added the Sinker white to this one. I can't remember. I'd have to watch it back now. It's definitely given a more natural middle with the spores. I did think about a black background, but I decided not to. Just that white was just a little bit too heavy. But it's still really, really nice. Last one. I don't think we added any Sinker to this one. And again, it's just a little bit too heavy, but it's still really nice. I think this one is my favourite though. Definitely. Right guys, again, hit that sub button for me, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment in the comment box below, and I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.